Wesley couldn't see his future. He didn't have one. He was sure of that. Death was better than being a blood slave. That was what the vampires in Victor's coven had called him. He mourned the time before he'd had first-hand knowledge of the damage paranormals did. He'd never welcomed death before, but he did when he felt blood leave his body. The cold and weakness Victor caused when he fed was getting more difficult to recover from. Death would allow him to forget he was something Victor owned. Victor didn't make the bite feel good. Maybe it wasn't possible. The feeding had been the same each time. Victor made Wesley take his shirt off. He'd beckon him forward, as if he expected nothing less than obedience. When Wesley was close enough, Victor tilted his head to the side right before the biting occurred. As soon as it was over, Victor sent Wesley on his way. Wesley was at the end of the process. He could tell because Victor had always sighed as if he were full. It was a good thing, too, because Wesley felt weak. He shivered as if he didn't have control of himself. It was as if winter had set into his bones. He wished for ice to freeze his body. Maybe Victor would stop sucking at his soul if that happened. Victor smelled like lavender and blood, not what Wesley expected. Wesley had always thought a vampire scent would be a bit like a rotting corpse, but maybe he'd confused vampires with zombies. Being Victor's slave had given him insight, and not only into his scent. He also discovered that Victor's skin was never cold, not like the dead would be. And he had regular food any human would eat. Wesley knew because he almost always called for Wesley during one of his meals. Victor also didn't mind garlic. The sunlight didn't affect him any differently than it would a human. Religion also didn't seem to matter. Victor didn't have crosses in his house that Wesley had seen, but he bet they wouldn't have any effect. Not that Wesley expected them to. He'd always thought that was one of the stupider myths. There were about 3,000 gods humanity believed in. Why would just one of those gods scare vampires, but the others didn't? It had never made sense to Wesley.